first came to the site, this land had kind of like a series of scales of spaces and views that looked to kind of different parts of the landscape. You know, there's the two wetlands to the east and west, and then there's the hill that kind of rises up to the east, and then everything kind of shoots out north to Sugarloaf Hill. You know, so it's like an incredibly sort of secretive site. You know, it's sort of off-piste, which is kind of interesting. Like, I mean, a lot of New Zealand houses we sort of do are essentially, you know, looking out over to the beach. You know, they were kind of on cliff tops, whereas this is quite a rural setup. You know. Part of the brief that the client had was, you know, that they saw this house as being a place where they could share it with their friends, they could have a feast. They were really interested in the idea of like cooking and food. But this house was not just about them and their friends, it was also about the fact that their parents would use it, you know, during the weeks, and it was a sense that it would be continually occupied across the space. It wasn't just a weekend house. When a client has a house in the city, generally it's kind of closed up and not utilised, but this house would always be used, you know, it would always be kind of occupied by somebody.
This is a very special house, and it's just, you know, so exciting to come back to. There's a lot of subtlety, and every time you come back you see something different, you know, because the light just plays with the textures and surfaces in the house. So it's really exciting to come back to.
Because of the depth of the plan, you know, it's actually one of my favourite parts of the house is this hallway, which is completely internal. But you know, we wanted to kind of punctuate in that the skylights actually became intersections. So as you have this quite orthogonal crisscrossing of the corridor and the entry, the skylights become kind of like points where there's sort of like a full stop. The room divider is one of those things that kind of goes back to the whole brief as well, which was that the client was really absolutely invested in the whole, going on a journey in terms of the concept of the house. They wanted to learn about architecture on the journey. So like the way I describe things to them, they always were like, why, how? And sometimes I would have these sort of quite esoteric answers for them, but they really enjoyed that. And it was actually in their brief that part of doing the house was this journey and in terms of learning. And it was learning for me, you know, it kind of went both ways, you know, just in terms of their intensity and understanding of the site and what they wanted to do with it.